Today's episode is all about raptors and birds of prey. We recently went to Burg Gutenberg, also known as the Castle of the Eagles, just outside of Heilbronn, to see these stunning creatures as a birthday present to my mother-in-law. And because I was with the family and there was no way to tastefully go off and film an intro and outro for today's video, you get to hear from post-filming editing Mari. Sup. This castle has a long history. Some parts of the castle date as far back as 1393. It has gone through several owners and even survived Count Johann Sercles of Tilly, who fortunately just passed through the area during the 30 Years' War. If you saw my episode on Rotenburg ob der Tauber, you know the Count of Tilly was an interesting fellow. If you haven't, go watch it and you won't look at wine the same way again. Anyway, while the castle is gorgeous and an amazing venue if you're looking for a place to get married, the reason why we actually came here was for the birds. They host daily flight demonstrations as long as you wear a mask, and I have to say the show is absolutely worth it. We saw some stunning birds. My favorite was Cassiopeia, or as her name is pronounced in German, Cassiopeia. If there was a bird who didn't want to fly and complain about it the whole time, she's a girl.
Die sterben durch Infektionen, durch Krankheiten oder verhungern. 80% aller Organismen sterben, bevor sie das erste Lebensjahr erreicht haben. Ja, das sind ziemlich viele, stellen sich was bei der Schulklasse vor. Ja, wie viele davon noch das Abitur schaffen würden, das sind nicht viele. So. Und diese Krankheit, die das Nashorn gehabt haben wird, ja, vielleicht hatte es oder BSE, das gibt es ja auch. Und ist dann verändert, haben unsere Geier alle mitgefressen. Das ist gar kein Problem, das ist nicht Gesundheit. Ganze Magensäure, die so stark ist wie Batteriesäure mit einer Körpertemperatur.
I was so impressed with how well these birds did with the public, especially when they flew so low you could almost touch them. Actually, you really could touch them, but who wanted to lose a finger, right? During the demonstration, the trainers told us how it is actually against the law to collect bird feathers in Germany. Because baby German eagles were slaughtered by the thousands for their white and brown feathers, so that German fanboys can make their own Native American headdresses. I'm not entirely sure this is actually the true origin of the law. I mean, I've actually asked some of my hunter friends about this here in Germany, and they couldn't really tell you, but of course they felt that it made sense to make a law because some Germans took their need to be the next Winnetou, last of the Apache, to the next level. If you don't get the Winnetou reference, that's going to be a topic for another day because there's already too much to unpack in this episode. So technically the law means that if you find a feather on the ground, you are only allowed to keep it if you have permission from the hunter who is responsible for the area where the feather was found. But let's be honest, how can you technically enforce that law? I mean, if no one is around when you find the feather, is it truly illegal to pocket it if no one is there to enforce it? Anyway, that's one option. The other option of obtaining a feather is to purchase one. Burg Gutenberg sells them. They do have a special compensation from the Jägerdienst thingy, like the hunting registration for Baden-Württemberg. They have a special allowance to be able to sell them. And of course, the cheapest feather being €5. And the most expensive being 40. That's right, 40 freaking euros. I actually wanted to buy feathers for our 5-year-old nephews. They're twins. And of course, after seeing those prices, I laughed myself away from the kiosk. I thought, you know what, I should just go to the States and get a feather because there you can find them on the ground everywhere and it's not illegal. But actually, it turns out it is also considered illegal to collect feathers in the U.S. thanks to the Migratory Bird Treaty Act of 1918. However, though, I mean, that only refers to birds listed in the treaty, but I actually didn't know that, and I figured that out while I was researching this episode for you, so you're welcome. So anyway, I know it's totally random, but I had to talk about this subject because I found it so fascinating and also slightly enraging that someone thought that it was justifiable to charge folks €40 for a feather. For a feather. I think I paid like 20 for this, but it's a pen, people. It's a pen. It's a quill. I was not gonna spit. I don't know. I also have I have one made out of a peacock feather that also cost me like 20 something. I mean, again, you can write with it. It's not just a feather. I don't know, but that's pretty much it for that episode. If you happen to find yourself near Heilbronn, I really recommend you go to Burg Gutenberg and go see the show. You can thank me later. So as I stated before, there's no outro, but please subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up so that more people can find out that there are places where you have to spend 40 euros to get feather. And also don't forget to follow me on social media. And in case you're wondering, where was Roxy the entire time in this episode? She was actually outside of the castle, well, outside of the castle walls with my husband, because dogs are not allowed into the show for obvious reasons. And he's also seen plenty of those shows. It was actually my first time seeing the show, so that's why I got to go in. But I really hope you learned something amazing about these glorious birds in slow-mo. And I guess we'll see each other next time, Lieblings.